Yeah, it's one heart, one shot, now the future is yours. Go! I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the...
Hey, what's up? How you doing? My name is Ngugi. I'm a physical therapist, one of the co-founders of Pre-PT Grind, where we help you as a pre-PT get accepted into physical therapy school without having to waste a lot of time or money. And I'm extremely excited about the topic that I'm going to share with you today, because I know that for the student that feels stuck right now, for the student that feels like, maybe their dreams of becoming a physical therapist might not happen or might not happen when they want them to, whether you're doubting yourself because of your low GPA or fear of rejection, all the things that we typically are nervous, about. I know that this is going to help you a lot, because there is a lie that most of us as pre-PTs basically have believed. And I'm going to show you how it might be holding you back from being a strong applicant, how it might be holding you back from being able to be at your best as a future physical therapist. And once I show you this, what I want you to do is I want you to watch this video as many times as possible, so that you can actually like let this sink in. What I'm going to share with you, it's going to sound simple on the surface, but once you understand it, then a lot of the things that scare you, whether it's comparing yourself to other people, whether it's feeling like you're not enough as a student, feeling like you're not smart enough, not good enough, not capable enough of becoming a physical therapy student, all of that is going to start fading away. All right, so if that is what you're looking for, then listen in. But before I share with you what that one lie is, really what really came back to my head as I was thinking about sharing this with you guys tonight is really what started this whole pre-PT grind thing. And it was a story that happened to a few of my friends when we were sophomores. And basically what happened was it was 5 of my friends who were all super excited about pursuing physical therapy, just as excited as you probably are to pursue PT. And I can actually remember my freshman year when we used to be in the dorm room, just kind of talking about, why we chose our career path, which was physical therapy, like what drew us there. Some of them had personal stories, some of them had family members, very similar to what you might, your reasons for becoming a PT. But I remember our sophomore year, our advisor, we had the same school advisor as pre-PTs, told all 5 of them to pick a completely different career path. And the reason for that is, you guessed it, low GPA. Like they basically, our sophomore year, which for me now is just borderline, just doesn't even make sense to me, but sophomore year, they were told by our advisor to switch career paths. And basically from that moment, in short, that was the frustration that led us to create what is now Pre-PT Grind. Because I was like, there are too many students that are getting that type of direction and they're giving up on their dream. And so that's like, if that is you and you've either, been told by other people that maybe you should pick something else. I actually spoke to a student today that said, hey, everyone in my circle basically thinks I should pick something else. I was like, like we've been told this one lie, like we've been led to believe it. And this lie is this, right? And if you're watching this live right now, comment #TeamLive, tag a friend that needs to hear this. If you're watching this on replay, comment #TeamReplay. This is honestly something that like any pre-PT that's serious about getting into PT school needs to just watch this video, because it's gonna reframe how you think. But I'll make it very, very simple for you to just be like, okay, wow, like that's it. The one lie that we have all believed, or most of us have believed, is that as much as, myself or Casey or other people can say, hey, you can do it, keep working hard, at the end of the day, there's this little belief inside that says, what if I'm not capable of becoming a physical therapist? What if my grades will work against me? What if my GPA is too low? What if, like, all these what ifs that build up? And it's because of this. It's because of this. We've been taught through something that I like to call closed guidance. Closed guidance, you can call it closed mentorship. And basically what this means is the belief that at some point it's going to be impossible to get in. And so it's this belief that at some point, man, your GPA might be too low. At some point, you know, you would have applied too many times. At some point, you would have taken the GRE too many times, and that's your sign that you're not qualified to get into PT school. And what happens is when we believe that there's this closed approach, and closed means that there has to be an end at some point. There has to be a point of no return. And this right here just isn't the case. But whether we've been told that, whether we've been told by an advisor that we got, you know, too low, too many rejections, it's too impossible. Like when we start to believe this, then what happens is it leads to a lot of other insecurities. Now we start to believe that because other students have higher GPAs than we do, then we're just getting closer to the end of the line. This is why a lot of us are so scared to, you know, to like when we see other students getting accepted into physical therapy school, we see that almost like a threat. Like, man, like, oh, that's just a reminder that I haven't been accepted yet. We see that as, you know, a reminder of the fact that our GPA isn't what theirs is. Our story isn't what theirs is. And the problem with this, and this is what it's really saddening to me, Casey, and, you know, the rest of our coaches, is the fact that this is why a lot of students quit. The biggest reason why students don't get into PT school, it's not because they like got to the end of the line, did everything they could. No, it's because they quit. At some point, they quit because they stopped believing in themselves. They quit because someone else told them it was impossible. And what I want to do today is I want to tell y'all, like, this right here is honestly the biggest lie that we've been led to believe as pre-PTs. That at some point, it's going to be too impossible. After a certain amount of rejections, you know, with a certain GPA, it's going to be too impossible to ever climb back out and get into PT school. But what I want to shift you guys to is really like how it really works. And I'm only saying this not because I made this up off the top of my head. I'm saying this because we've just seen this way too many times with the students that we've coached, like students that have had ridiculously low GPAs when they started, students that had been rejected to multiple years in a row, like 4 or 5 years in a row, they've been rejected. Students that had you know, been rejected to as many as 15 to 20 schools in one cycle. Like all the schools they applied to, they got rejected by all of them. And then the next year they end up getting into multiple schools. Like they thought that they had hit the end of the line. They believed, like my friends, when I was a sophomore, they believed, or they were led to believe, that, hey, maybe it's time to pull the plug. Maybe it's time to pick a different career path. Maybe it's time to go a different direction. And I want you guys to reframe how you see that. Because if you can stop believing that, then what will happen is immediately you won't keep comparing yourself to other students. Immediately, you'll start looking for solutions instead of feeling like a victim, right? So what I want you guys to start like looking, like when you look at your application, I want you guys to start using the open mentorship, open guidance approach, whatever it is. Basically what open mentorship means is whoever is guiding you, whether it's your advisor, whether it's us, whether it's a friend, whoever it is, the open approach basically looks at your application with like almost like forks in the road, right? So basically what it says is that regardless of where I'm at, regardless of where my GPA is at, regardless of what my story is, regardless of how many schools I've been rejected to, regardless of how terrible I am on the GRE, there's always a way out. There's always a next step. And for you, especially, and this is where I ask students, I'm like, when you decide that you want to be a physical therapist, make sure you actually want it, right? Because if you really want it, then what's the point in like pulling the plug now and doing something else that you don't enjoy for the rest of your career? Like if this is what you want to do, physical therapy is it, then the most amazing message that you could get is the fact that there's always a solution, right? The question now is, what is my solution, right? So if right now you're saying, you know, like maybe you're watching this and you're like, hey, Joseph, I've kind of been around the block. Like I've applied a few different times. It has not gone my way. Well, it's not the fact that you should pull the plug. Like if you still want physical therapy, it's understanding, no. I just haven't figured out how to solve this problem. And so now the question, like questions that I, like questions that students that approach their application with the open approach, where they know that there's always a solution. There is always a solution to every single problem. They start asking questions like, what do I need to do? Do I need to find someone that can help me fix this problem? Like if it's the GRE, if it's the interview, if it's applying and not knowing where to apply or how to navigate through the application process, like what do I need to do? How do I navigate? They start asking questions because they know there's an answer. Just because they don't have the answer doesn't mean that the answer doesn't exist. It's just a matter of where do I find it? And this is what, like as a pre-PT, if you can start understanding this, if as a pre-PT, you can start realizing that literally like anything that right now you feel is holding you back, there is a solution for it. You just need to be able to find someone that can help you, whether it's us, whether it's like whoever it is. But we have to stop assuming that just because our grades are too low, just because things have not gone our way, just because everyone stops, believing in us, that all of a sudden that means that physical therapy is no longer what we want. All right. So that's, man, if you guys can stop believing this, not only will your confidence go up, but you'll start realizing that you're not a victim. As a pre-PT, you are not a victim. You'll really stop blaming other people. You'll stop blaming your teachers. You'll stop blaming family members. You'll stop blaming, your advisors. And when you start changing how you look at it, when you start realizing that there is a solution for everything that you feel like right now is in your way of getting accepted into PT school, you'll start taking ownership. You'll start taking ownership of looking for the answer. You'll start taking ownership of the action that you take. If it's retaking classes, if it's, figuring out which schools I should be applying to, if it's figuring out how to deal with the GRE, especially because most of us kind of suck at standardized tests naturally, right? So instead of assuming, well, it's never going to work out, I have to start asking, how can I get help? Like, it's okay. Like we did a live stream 2 nights ago with one of our students, and he even said in the live stream, he was like, we have to normalize asking for help. Like, I think a lot of times we don't want to ask for help as students because we're scared that it'll make us look, I don't know, maybe it'll make us look weak or it'll make us look not smart. But asking for help is great. Asking for help acknowledges that you know where you're stuck and like where your limit is in regards to what you might not know how to solve, and that's fine. So but this, if you guys can start believing this, your game will change. If you guys can start believing this, then the way you carry yourself as a student will change. If you can start believing in this, then you'll start asking for the right guidance. But if anyone's ever telling you that you can't become a PT at a certain point, if anyone's telling you that your GPA is too low to even have a shot, if anyone's telling you that you should be choosing something else, well, if physical therapy is the profession that you decided to do, if physical therapy is the profession you've fallen in love with, then you can't listen to that. It's a lie. I'm telling you, it's a lie. All right. And so hopefully that helps. Hopefully I gave you some confidence. Hopefully I gave you some clarity as to the fact that there is a solution. There's always a solution. I'm telling you, it's there. It's there. And if you don't know where to start, one of the best places to begin is you can put this in the comments or open this up in a different browser. But acceptancenavigator.com. Basically, Casey, the other co-founder of Pre-PT Grind, and I just sit down and we break down how to find those solutions, like how to know where you're at in your journey, how to find those solutions so that you don't have to feel stuck. You don't have to feel like there's no solution to your problem, and you can start taking control of your entire acceptance journey. Once you start doing that, the game will change. Once you start doing that, you'll be one step closer to realizing your dream of becoming an absolutely amazing future physical therapist. Let's get it. Stop believing the lies that, at some point you can, you have to quit or whatever. No. Go pursue physical therapy, pursue your dream. Let's get it. And if you need help, you already know where to go. Go to acceptancenavigator.com. We got you covered. Much love.